I always thought that black people don't need sunscreen because melanin protects them from the sun, but it turns out that's not quite true. My colleague was going to New Zealand, and I told her she definitely needed to take good sunscreen. She didn't listen to me because she had never burned before. She is black and lives in the UK. I tried to explain to her that no matter that she is black, the New Zealand sun would just burn her. As a result, when she returned, she guiltily told me that she had badly burned on the beach, had holes on her skin, and as a result, she had to spend money on burn treatment. That you can selectively burn fat by doing exercises on a specific part of the body? You can't. You can build muscle in a specific area by doing special exercises, but fat will be burned from the area where your body wants to, not specifically from the area you are targeting. Fortunately, this greatly simplified the recognition of fitness charlatans. I'm a guy with gynecomastia, that is, with male breasts. I've had it since childhood. I was teased a lot because of it in childhood. In general, I spent the entire second half of my adolescence trying to get rid of it naturally. I spent 6 hours in the gym every day. I was just in perfect shape, all ripped, but the chest still remained. Strength training didn't help. I went into cardio, ran, a marathon, and the chest still remained. I trained every day, ran, ate perfectly, and still nothing changed. You can't burn fat spot on. If I could, I would find a way. My ex also suffered from gynecomastia, and it hit his self-esteem very hard. As a result, he had surgery, and it changed the situation a lot. You don't need to detoxify your body with special juices or teas. Your liver and kidneys are already doing this job absolutely free. A little off topic, but we recently figured out what the appendix does. It is a backup storage for intestinal bacteria so they can replenish their reserves, for example, after taking antibiotics. Studies have also been conducted showing that removing the appendix at a young age may reduce the risk or delay the onset of Parkinson's disease. The protein that promotes its development lives in the appendix, so if you remove it, it won't accumulate. This is very early research, nothing concrete yet. That sugar makes you hyperactive. That heart disease is essentially a one-way trip. In fact, you can completely reverse the plaque formation process in arteries with proper diet and a little exercise. The myth is that fat burned during exercise significantly affects weight loss, although, of course, physical activity is very important for health and does contribute to weight loss, but not in the sense that it burns a lot of fat. Halfway on topic, the myth that it takes only 21 days to form a habit. I see a lot of people quitting their workouts because they haven't gotten used to it in a month and think it's just not for them. This is one of those pseudo-psychological memes that arose from a misinterpreted study that wasn't even about habits at all. Then someone built a business on it, made a lot of money, and now everyone believes that if you haven't developed a habit in 21 days, then something is wrong with you. But in reality, it takes different people from several weeks to several months to form habits, and that's absolutely normal. I always knew something was wrong here, just from my own experience. I could do something every day, then miss just one day, and that's it. I never came back to it. I still don't understand exactly how I form habits, but apparently it's much more complicated than just doing something consistently and everything will fix itself. That large foam pads on sneakers are not needed and actually cause an increase in running-related injuries due to the fact that our bodies are not adapted to such instability under our feet. Natural doesn't mean anything. It's a logical fallacy. Arsenic is natural. So is mercury. Many natural substances are toxic. Stop trying to convince me that something is good just because it is natural. And natural chemicals are a whole different story. Naturalness does not mean that a substance is safer. I recently read about a winery that used a natural herbicide on their vineyards. It turned out to be much more toxic than synthetic ones, and as a result, they were just poisoning people. It annoys me almost as much as organic salt and even vegetarian chocolate, lol. If you shave often, hair doesn't grow faster, longer, harder, or darker. It's just that all the hairs start growing at the same time, which makes it seem like there are more of them and they are thicker. If that were really the case, every bald man would shave every day. I tried to tell my dad about it, but he said I was making it up. I said that if it really worked that way, then he could easily grow a chic beard. Suddenly, he had some urgent business and he didn't have time to argue with me. Lol. I'm a certified beautician with 4 years of training behind me and 3 years of work in a salon. And my mother still doesn't believe me when I tell her about this fact. So I feel for you. It's not so much a specific myth as it is a huge and very common misconception. It takes a lot more effort to build muscle than most people think, and most people overestimate the amount of muscle that can be built without the use of additional drugs. Many don't even start exercising because they don't want to be so pumped up, as if from one touch to the barbell they will suddenly grow muscles. And at the same time, a lot of people still sincerely believe that with just discipline and diligence, anyone can look like a superhero from posters or bodybuilders from social media. I consider myself a fairly informed person, but I still had no idea how many men and women, even in ordinary gyms across the country, are on steroids. I found out about it only closer to 30. That you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day? No, not necessarily. It all depends on your size, activity level, and the climate in which you live. Someone needs more, someone needs less. And it's not just about clean water. All the liquid you consume is taken into account. Soups, tea, coffee, juice, even water from fruits and vegetables. That is, we're talking about all the water that enters the body and not just about glasses with H2O. The myth that there is never too much water. It enrages me. Excessive amounts of water consumed destroys your electrolytes and negatively affects many processes and basic cellular functions, as well as your heart. If you want to increase your fluid intake, do it gradually. Let your body adjust. The fact that you can go blind from masturbation? Lol. My father is Balkan, and in childhood he told me that I could grow hair on my palms because of jerking off. Myth. Fitness influencers look the way they look because they work hard on themselves. Reality, most of them are on steroids. Yes, training, nutrition, and discipline are important, but such a form as many fitness stars in Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok have is beyond natural limits. And at the same time, they still often sell programs and supplements as if it's just the result of their diligence. This misleads people, creates unrealistic expectations, and makes you feel like a loser if you don't look like them, even though you're just not on steroids. That running is bad for your knees. Running is very good for your knees, but running with incorrect technique or overtraining is definitely bad for your knees. That carbs are your enemy. It turns out that they are actually extremely necessary for your body to function normally. My friend told me that eating carbs is a bad idea. I had to argue with him because as a swimmer, I was always told that I needed a lot of carbs, and I ate more than usual. I had to explain what carbs are needed for, but he just brushed me off. Even years later, he still criticizes me for eating a lot of carbs. Carbs are not enemies, but technically they are not an essential nutrient. It is quite possible to survive without them. If you eat only fats and proteins, the body will eventually begin to convert some of the protein into glucose to maintain life. It takes several days to switch this process, which is why many people feel sluggish and tired at the beginning of a low-carb diet. Is aspartame harmful? Aspartame is an artificial sweetener that became known and began to be used around the same time as saccharin in the United States. People have long confused the facts about these two sweeteners, and some still haven't learned that it was saccharin that was withdrawn from the FDA market because it caused cancer, while aspartame is much more safer. The only really noticeable side effect of aspartame, if consumed in excessive amounts and in the presence of certain medical conditions, it can be harmful. Aspartame is composed of aspartic acid and phenylalanine. There are other claims about aspartame, such as it helps to lose weight, but according to the VBMD, this is a very controversial issue. That eating ice cream, cake, or fatty foods and so on will make you fat. No matter what you eat, in order to lose weight, you must eat fewer calories than you burn. It's simple.